Did you like the Super Mario movie?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's still my top one, I believe, in my list.
Did that come out
Yes.
this year?
Yeah.
That came out this year. It felt like last year, man. That
This
movie
year.
felt like it came out a long time ago.
No, it's only a couple of months.
Yeah, I think it came out like
March. So,
March.
yeah, somewhere between March to June.
Yeah, I remember it was before we went to the Friday Night Tights meetup.
Yeah. Because I was wearing the Mario shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what are your thoughts about the announcement of the Legend of Zelda movie?
Yeah, I think it's provided they do the same approach. I think it'll be fine. But if they insert people who want to do their DEI thing, yeah, then it's gonna be problematic.
But here's the thing, though. It's officially announced that they are going to be doing it, but it's going to be live action.
Oh, yeah,
How do you feel about that?
uh, that's gonna be tough because a live action Link and Zelda. I'm not so sure. Yeah, if it's live action, I don't know. Maybe they can.
See,
Well, is it this? There's a chance it might do okay, but there's part of me that it's gonna be Super Mario all over again, the one in 1993.
see, the thing is that if they do a live action Zelda movie, you can't really have a Nintendo cinematic universe with
Yeah,
this Zelda in it, this Zelda and Link and Ganon. You can't have it in there. It's because
true.
it's live action, right?
Yeah.
Unless they jump into a portal or some shit like that and it turns them into cartoon. But let's go and talk about this really quick. This comes to us from IGN. Nintendo and Sony teaming up to make a live action Legend of Zelda movie. Sony co-financing new film with Avi Arad and Shigeru Miyamoto set to produce and Wes Ball directing. Nintendo is finally making a live action Legend of Zelda movie after years and hopes of months and rumors. The news shared today in an official post to Nintendo investors with few details. The film is being produced by Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto and Avi Arad, chairman of Arad Production and former founder of CEO of Marvel Studios. Arad has been credited as producer on numerous successful films over the years, most recently including Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, No Way Home, Far From Home, and Homecoming. He's also worked on upcoming films including Kraven the Hunter and the Borderlands movie. The Maze Runner director Wes Ball is set to direct, and Sony Pictures Entertainment will handle theatrical distribution in addition to co-financing the movie with Nintendo. Deadline Hollywood, meanwhile, reports that Jurassic World writer Derek Connolly is writing the script. Okay. All right. This movie's going to suck.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, this movie's gonna suck. Yeah, the writing is very important. The fact that you have Jurassic World, which is basically a cash grab, even though they made it. I'm not saying that the movie didn't make a lot of money. The movie made a shit ton of money. It made over $1 billion. But the thing is, the reason why Jurassic World was huge is because it's a soft reboot to the entire franchise, but meaning that it's into the future. But every movie after that sucked more balls than ever. So, how do you feel about this before we continue moving forward?
Yeah, I'm not exactly the biggest Zelda fan, but I would rather they stuck to the formula what made Super Mario's movie worked. Honestly, I would be much more excited for that. They just followed the source material, and yeah, they applied the same playbook. It's literally just follow Super Mario's movie and make it into Zelda. That would have worked wonders, in my opinion. That would have been really great. Maybe not as good as Mario, but still very good. But now that
Yeah.
they're making it live action, it's like, oh god, it's like, yeah, they need to prove it that they can work. It's like One Piece is like once in a blue moon. It's like even the incoming Yu Yu Hakusho live action, I have reservations if it'll work out for Netflix.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that we'll see, but I'm not optimistic.
Yeah. All right. Let's continue. See, though the press release indicates that development is just beginning, in a tweet X post today, Miyamoto indicated that the project has been in the works in some form for many years now. Earlier this year, rumors abounded that a live-action Legend of Zelda movie was in the works, but the word on Hyrule Street was that the Universal involved, or perhaps Illumination, rather than Sony. The rumors were fueled by the Tears of the Kingdom developer themselves, who expressed that they were interested in making a Zelda movie after the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie earlier this year. However, Eiji Aonuma said at the time, "It's not just me being interested in something that makes things happen. Unfortunately, a Netflix series was reportedly canceled after leaking into the internet." So this is Miyamoto. This is a couple of days ago. This is Miyamoto. "I have been working on a live action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years with Avi Arad-san, who has produced many mega hit films. I have asked Avi-san to produce this film with me, and we have now officially started the development of the film with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production. It will take some time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it." So, if it's heavily being developed by Nintendo and closely overlooked by Miyamoto, who created Zelda and Link and stuff like that, I can see it working. However, we do know that there's ESG and DEI shit already creeping into Japanese sphere. Like, what's it called again? I think it was Koei Tecmo, and we do know like Capcom has some already. Square Enix already has some, right? And I already do know that there are some people who are already wanting casting, saying that they want a queer person to play Link.
Yeesh.
Yeah, and they want a trans person to play Zelda.
Yikes.
So the thing is, I do know there are a lot of LGBTQ folks who are very, very big fans, big fans of what's that called again? The Zelda stuff, right? Because they grew up with Nintendo and stuff like that, right? So I'm gonna switch over to this really quick. Fan casting queer stars to play Link and the Legend of Zelda movie. Which queer character would be iconic? Twink. Oh man. But yeah, so the fact that this potentially can happen makes me very, very hesitant now. Right? There are a lot of people. Here's the thing though. A lot of people in Hollywood will probably say, yes, why not? Why can't it be that? It should be representing. But the thing is, if it's heavily being developed very closely by Miyamoto and Nintendo, they could potentially say no.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But if I were Nintendo, I would just follow, yeah, again, like I said earlier, I would just follow the playbook of Super Mario. It's proven it works. And you can, like what you said, you can build a NCU, a Nintendo Cinematic Universe, out of that. So why go out of the way of taking on bigger risk that has a good chance of backfiring, right? It's like, yeah, I would have rather just stick to what worked, especially now that given today's economy with so much layoffs going on. It's an unnecessary risk to take, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I mean, well, good that Nintendo is still heavily managing how it goes. Because imagine if they just outsourced it to like Netflix. They would 100% make Link a black guy. Right? Link,
Yeah.
like would be black. Then the producer's like, why don't you focus on something else? Kind of like how they did with Castlevania. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it's optimism. Probably cautious optimism is the best way to describe how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's continue this. Let's see. Unlike the Mario movie, however, the Zelda film is live action, meaning casting characters such as Link, Zelda, Ganon, and others will take an entirely new dimension. The Super Mario movie, while well received, did undergo pre-release criticisms over the decisions to cast Chris Pratt as Mario. A Zelda film would presumably be held up to similar fan scrutiny? No, it's going to be even harder. It's going to be way harder, is because if Ganon is not black, or at least like a dark, like I don't know, Puerto Rican or something like that, people will be pissed, right? You remember what they said with the person that they wanted to cast as like Nani or some shit like that, or like Lilo and Stitch characters, or David from Lilo and Stitch? He's like, oh, this person's not dark enough. This person's not dark enough. How dare you, right? It's live action will be higher scrutiny, 100%, right? If you don't sound like the character, people are going to be even more upset and stuff like that, right? People are, look how upset people that the fact that Chris Pratt was cast as Mario. You didn't have to woohoo, right? You didn't have any of that, like that from the original guy from Charlie, right? Or Charles, I think it's Charles. So how, like, live action is gonna be really, really hard, right? And it's gonna involve live action with realistic looking 3D assets and elements. So how is that going to work? How is that going to play out? So I already said when they were going to do like some kind of Nintendo universe, kind of cinematic universe, I said everything has to be 3D. Right? I initially said it has to be 3D, or the movie, you cannot be in the same universe and it might suck. Like, why do you have to make it live action? Right? It's so shitty, man. So shitty, but let's continue. Let's see. It's unclear which Zelda story this movie will explore. I'm pretty sure they're going to do something that's simple. It does not have to do a lot of stuff, right? So Link to the Past and what's it called again? Awakening. Like, I would say those would probably require more work. I would say they probably do something more simple. I would say Ocarina of Time is too a little bit too much for them. It's because this time travel. Right. So that's gonna, if you're introducing a character that's completely new to normies, you're gonna introduce time travel, they're not gonna like it. So, especially with time travel now. So I would say they would probably do something like Twilight Princess, or what's it called again? What's that Zelda game that came out for Switch again? Not Tears of the Kingdom, but the one, the first
Breath
one.
of the Wild.
It'll probably be something more simple like Breath of the Wild. Right, definitely. See, fans have speculated the possibility of a Zelda movie for many years now, with more than a few donning costumes to create their own trailers. Way back in 2008, we created our own version of live action Legend of Zelda. Back then, it was a profuse joke, but now a prophecy has seemingly been fulfilled. It's unclear which Zelda story will be explored in this film's adaptation, or if new Zelda story would be told instead. It's possible Nintendo opts to explore the most recent successful entries and franchise by telling the story of Breath of the Wild, especially if it will open up a sequel to Tears of the Kingdom. One way or another, we'll have to wait to updates for Nintendo to find out what's in store. Yeah. So, and the thing is that we have to have Ganondorf, because Ganon is a pig. You have to have Ganondorf, because you're not going to do a giant monster CGI pig character and you're going to cast the person who play it. They're not, the actor is going to hate it too. So you're going to be casting Ganondorf. So most likely it'll probably be Breath of the Wild, since Breath of the Wild was like one of the more recent popular Nintendos. So how do you feel, man? Do you think it's going to work out? It's probably going to be like 3-4 years from now, but how do you feel?
Yeah, if Nintendo's supervising it, then maybe, but it probably won't do as well as Mario. Especially, they put themselves on an unnecessary hurdle by making it live action. But time will tell. The trailers they'll release will say a lot if it'll be good or not, in my opinion.
I for me, they should just do 3D.
Yeah.
They should just do 3D. The next thing you should do is it should become a part of Illuminations, right? Unless they're going to do this, Sony and Nintendo is doing their own shit. It does not tie into this. And then Illuminations and Universal and Nintendo are going to do their own stuff. I think that would be fine.
Yeah, but treat this like a spin-off and then probably an experiment if it can work. But yeah, I would go for 3D for sure.
Thanks for checking out this segment of the Project Eggroll podcast. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will know next time when we go live. We do go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Once again, we are just getting started. Tons of more video to come. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.